So the holidays are a time that are filled with traditions. So we thought we would talk about some of ours.
So we thought we would talk about some of the traditions that we do today and how they might differ from how we grew up. So I have a few different categories we'll talk about. So the first one is decorating the house.
Yeah, so now we really only do the tree and just a few handful of things that you put around. Not a whole lot. It takes up, maybe just one tote.
Yeah, I think we have like 2 totes and a tree, and that's basically our limit on. Of course, we live in a condo, but even when we lived in a house and had plenty of space, I've always been kind of a minimal decorator. I would say that's probably pretty consistent with how I grew up. I think my mom pretty much the same. We had the tree, the stockings, and maybe a few things kind of around the house. That was about it.
Yeah, as a kid, we really did. Only really thing that we did different was maybe outside lights, but obviously we live in a condo, so that's kind of hard. We talked about this year maybe possibly doing some inside lights in the window, around the window frames. Nice. It's just kind of hard to hang them there because there's not really anywhere to
adhere them.
staple them to, so we're not going to tape them to it. So we'll talk about that, or we'll see what we do.
It'd be fun to figure that out.
But but then just again with some of the ornaments being sentimental, a lot of the things that we do put around are sentimental, especially to you.
Yeah, I try to keep to just things that kind of are meaningful rather than just...
Yeah, things from your childhood or even your parents' childhood, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, for sure.
So the next up, we're going to talk about our holiday foods and baking.
Yeah, so we... today, I would say, aren't terribly traditional as food goes. I think one thing that we've introduced that I didn't do growing up, I don't know if you did, but we make breakfast on Christmas morning. We like to kind of take that as sort of a lazy day, not lazy, but like a kind of an ourselves day. So we'll get up and make breakfast, and we usually do mimosas. Got that idea from Leg Life. Thank you for that. And so that's kind of been a nice tradition that we've started. I don't think that I did that really growing up. But I do remember growing up always doing, we baked Christmas cookies, sugar cookies specifically. We would ice them with sprinkles and all that stuff.
Like the cutouts of the ornaments.
Yeah. Shaped like bells and shaped like stockings and all of that kind of stuff. So it was a lot of fun. And my sister still does that. She does that today and she brings them. So when we do our family Christmas with my family, there's always little iced sugar cookies. Yeah. So.
I would say that a big tradition for us, I guess it's kind of in this category, is holiday cocktails.
Oh, yeah.
We do make a lot of holiday cocktails every year, and sometimes eggnog cocktails, kind of just various things.
There's one that I was introduced to a handful of years ago by another YouTube creator, Auburn Human, and it's called the Merry Christmas cocktail. And it's a really delicious, kind of gin cocktail with cranberries, and it just tastes very Christmassy. It's really beautiful, tastes really Christmassy. It's a nice, kind of, it always puts me, in the holiday spirit. So,
so as a kid, we really didn't, I guess we obviously probably had Christmas dinner type stuff at maybe at my grandma's. Mm-hmm. But the big thing that I remember is cheese ball. My mom would probably make it like a snowman shape and, using snowman bowl and the spreaders and stuff like that kind of
I remember going to Christmas, I think the first time or second time or whatever at your mom's or grandmother's, and I remember you eating what seemed like a whole cheese ball.
Too much cheese. Yeah, definitely way too much cheese. But
I can tell you
that's something that is really distinct in my memory as a kid.
I love that.
And nothing really else food wise
stands out more than the cheese.
I mean, I will say that my grandma did a thing that chili spaghetti, which is Cincinnati chili and spaghetti. That was kind of a party that she did kind of a couple days, or the weekend before Christmas usually. But that's a huge
That was your
too.
dad's mom
that
did that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, actually, speaking of family, visiting family. So that is something I think that has changed dramatically for us as adults than maybe how it was as kids. I know, especially for you.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
So now we
don't really do a lot. We don't do really any traveling around the holidays. We don't travel to family. We kind of, my parents live here in Chicago, so
so now that we live here, we
pretty regularly
we kind of just go.
Yeah, everyone sort of comes here, but you're not even right at Christmas because I feel like Christmas is just sort of a a time to kind of like be together and close together. And so to me, it feels like you shouldn't be spending all of your time traveling and driving places, and it feels so hectic. And so I like that we kind of do that and try to visit family at off-season times of year, like rather than at Christmas time.
Yeah, one thing that we kind of developed early on in our relationship is on Christmas morning we kind of just transitioned from what I used to do to just spending the day with us, because it's
it's our day.
It's our
Yeah.
As a kid, vastly different. So on Christmas Eve, I would do my mom's because she lived really close to my mom, and then it was just worked out with everyone else. Then I would do Christmas at my mom's, and then my dad would come pick me up, and I would go to his house, and we would do either.
Is this all still Christmas Eve?
Oh, sorry, Christmas morning. Christmas morning, I would go to my mom's, and then my dad would come pick me up a couple hours after that, and we would either do Christmas at his house then, or wait until the evening, and then we would go to his grandparents, which is my great grandparents, and then we would do Christmas there, and then we would do a gift exchange too, and then we would do at his mom's, and then do a gift exchange and Christmas and food there as well, and then we would go back to either his house or stay at grandma's, and
that's a lot.
yeah, and then like no one lived close too, so it was a lot of driving.
Yeah, it's
it was
very
fun.
hectic.
It was fun for my dad and I, because we at least before, my stepmom and stuff, because it was just the two of us, and a lot of time we spent together. But
Yeah, man, that's crazy though. Like,
yeah, it was a lot of driving. It was a lot of presents.
Yeah.
A lot of family, a lot of cousins, lots of cousins. So it was kind of cool. But I think now I kind of like just spending the time with us, and it's just much more enjoyable. It's chill.
Yeah, I think it's like
relaxing.
That like it sounds so stressful to like have to bounce around. I know a lot of people really like that, and they enjoy the kind of like the hustle and bustle of that. I guess I like the kind of more chill, which I think is what we kind of did growing up in my family. So I think that's why.
So then next we're going to talk about gift giving and sort of the traditions around that.
Yeah, you and I only just recently started doing gifts to each other at Christmas.
I think
we didn't for a long time.
I think that we started when we first started dating,
yeah, we were
but just
early
because
on.
of money and just because of like necessity, we really didn't think that it was. We didn't really think that it was necessary.
Well, I bought
to
you
buy each
that
other gifts.
NDS that one time.
Oh yeah, when you did buy me a gift that I already had.
I didn't know.
3DS.
A 3DS, that's it. 3DS, yeah. And I thought I was like the best girlfriend in the whole world. I was like, oh my gosh, he's going to love this. It's going to be amazing. And I remember because I bought you like a case for it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, he's going to open the case and then be like, what am I supposed to do with this? I don't have this, whatever. And then he opened the case and he was like, oh, this is great. And then I was like, well, aren't you confused because you don't? And then I realized that he already had one. So I think after that I was like, you know what? No more gifts.
Yeah, it definitely probably left a sour taste in your mouth.
So we stopped for a while.
I thought it was so meaningful, even though I already owned one.
I mean, it is the thought that counts, I suppose.
And then like now we do gifts to each other.
Yeah, we do that.
And
now.
then I guess the main thing that we do gifts is,
we do like a family draw with my family. Yeah. We tried to cut gift giving out really across the board, or cut down on it as much as possible, because it just gets so out of control. Like when you're an adult and you've got, your sisters and your brothers and their spouses and their kids, and it spirals real quickly. So we kind of like dialed it back. And my family around that same time that kind of you and I were having that conversation about how do we dial back the gift giving, because it gets a little overwhelming. My family decided to go to like kind of a name draw style. But we did put a spin on it because we have like a game that we do. So you buy gifts you do a name draw. So you buy gifts from one other person and you buy it from their list. So we use like Elfster, which is a really cool program. If you're looking for something that, kind of helps with the gift exchange, Elfster is a great way to do that. They have an app you can put on your phone. And we put all of those gifts like in a table, like in the center of a table, and then we kind of go around the room, round robin, and you just grab a random gift and open it, so you never know whose gift you're opening. So it makes it kind of fun. Since we're not getting gifts for every single person, it makes it a little bit more, I don't know, exciting that way.
Yeah, it's cool. It's always really fun when people ask for similar things. Like once Milo,
happens with my sister and I a lot.
Yeah, and then once Milo, our nephew, started getting gifts as well. Legos, who could be for me, could be for him, who knows? So it's always like
it's a toss
I feel
up.
like or like obviously certain people ask for the similar things. Like if it's a vinyl record, it's probably your brother.
Yeah.
If it's a Tom Clancy novel, it's probably
it's
your
my dad.
So it's kind of like a fun thing because we kind of know each other even more now.
It becomes you're kind of like, ooh, who could this be?
Even without looking at their their wish list,
Yeah.
you kind of know what they're going to ask for.
Yeah.
So it's fun.
For sure. It makes it a lot of fun.
And then, so as a kid, how did you do gifts?
Oh, yeah. Well, so as a kid, we I don't even remember how we did gifts at my grandparents. I think my grandparents just kind of got us gifts, like maybe like a couple little things. But with our family, we did like gifts under the tree from our parents, and then we got Santa gifts, Christmas morning. So I liked the way we did Santa gifts because I know for a lot of people, Santa wraps their gifts. For our house, Santa did not wrap our gifts. So they'd be kind of like out sort of on display. And I have a brother and a sister, so there'd be 3 little piles. And you could immediately tell, like you'd see your pile and be like, oh my gosh, like that's the XYZ that I asked for. I'm so excited. And so you can like run to your pile and
cool.
It's yours. And that was kind of fun.
Yeah, so at least at my mom's, we kind of just, I don't remember if we did from Santa or not. I do know that like we just had our name. I think that was the main thing, is just had our name, like Chris or Ben. Or the wrapping paper was probably like themed.
You had like your own wrapping paper, and then like Ben had.
I think so. I don't really remember,
clever.
but it's like they were all wrapped, and then at my dad's, at his house specifically, that was one thing I really remember is like if it was something really big, he would kind of hide it. I remember one year I got a drum set for Christmas, but like again, like with the 3DS, I opened like some drumsticks or something, and I was like, oh yeah, cool, like
Yay, drumsticks.
Drum on the table,
drums.
and then like we'd finish, and my dad'd be like, there's something missing here, and they're like, he would open the closet, and it'd be like these huge drum boxes, or huge wrapped boxes, cardboard boxes, and you knew what it was, obviously, right away.
That's fun.
Similar to like
that's a clever way to do a large gift.
Some of the times that your parents have done that a couple times with like something like
a
larger
big
gift,
surprise.
and being like,
yeah,
oh, like this is, and then they'd bring out like gift bags or something, and we'd be like,
Yeah.
oh, I'd be all super surprised.
like Christmas isn't over.
Yeah, yeah.
It's still going. All right, the last thing is kind of more like events around Christmas. So like traditions of like looking at Christmas lights or going to a particular Christmas event or activity. Because I know for us, we usually go to it used to be Cincinnati Zoo when we lived in the Northern Kentucky area, but go to like the zoo lights. And we do it here at Lincoln Park Zoo and go to the zoo lights. Or what is it called at Cincinnati Zoo? Festival of Lights.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, so now we do zoo lights and the Christkindl market. Those are probably our 2 biggest traditions.
Yeah, now that we live in Chicago, we do Christkindl market every year.
Sometimes we'll walk up and down up Michigan or State and just look at the lights and the.
Yeah, I mean the nice thing I guess downtown is that there are like a lot of the buildings decorate with like really pretty trees in their lobbies or lights. So kind of just as we're walking around, if you're going to dinner, going to the grocery store, wherever you're going, you might kind of come across, and that's kind of our like looking at lights style. Because growing up, my family did at least like drive around and look at lights. At different houses. We kind of knew like what neighborhoods to go to that had like really pretty decorations and kind of go and like check them out. It's not something obviously, we don't have a car,
No.
so we don't do that anymore. But I think that was kind of a fun tradition that we did growing up.
I will say that I do remember going to the Festival of Lights a few times with just growing up because it's a big event, and the Cincinnati Zoo is a massive zoo, so
It's a great zoo. Yeah,
a lot of lights to see, and
I think the Lincoln Park Zoo does a great job. And the Lincoln Park Zoo, of course, is free. I think you do pay though for the zoo lights. I think so. I think all of those events cost. So.
But we never really drove around and looked at Christmas lights or anything. I don't think.
No, but you did do the Cincinnati Zoo sometimes as a kid. Yeah, for sure. So those are just some of the traditions we thought as we're kind of doing Vlogmas and walking through, kind of like thinking about all the things that we do this time of year. It might be fun to talk about kind of some of the traditions. I guess there's not really anything that stands out that we've, kind of taken away. We just sort of evolved over time and kind of said, well, this is what works for us in our lives now. And I think we've changed too, even since we first got married.
Yeah.
So it kind of just has been like an ever evolving process, which I think is nice. I don't want to get stuck in a tradition.
Yeah, for sure.
So if you like this video, give us a thumbs up.
And if you want to see more of our Vlogmas content, make sure to subscribe. We'll see you next time.